man go through. Let the man go through. Move aside and let the man go through. Let the man go through. Move aside and let the man go through. Let the man go through. Move aside and let the man go through. Let the man go through. If I stole somebody else's wave to fly up, and if I rose up with the avenue behind me.
Welcome to the Hood. Good afternoon, Milwaukee. I have a special guest in the Hood today, here live on 104.1 River West Radio, WXRW. My guest is Darnell Price. Darnell, welcome to the Hood.
Thank you. How you doing, Bill? Thanks for having me.
I'm doing well, thank you. It's good to meet you here today for the first time. You and I met on the phone just a week and a half ago, maybe, something like that. And your story is compelling, and I said immediately, would you be interested in coming on the show and coming into the Hood? And you said absolutely.
Yeah, that's facts.
So I'm just going to read real quick here something that was, it's on Amazon. And you have spent some time in prison. You have spent years in the depths of addiction. And the name, you've written a book called The Ultimate Betrayal.
Yes.
So it says here on the Amazon website, it says, from the brutal grip of addiction to the cold confines of a prison cell, Darnell Price's true story is a raw and unflinching look into the life of a man who hit rock bottom and chose to rise. I'm going to stop reading there. There's more, and there are other little synopsises, wrap-ups about your book, overviews of your book. First of all, let me ask you this: how did you land? How did you land in jail, in prison?
Well, in 2015, caught up in the throes of my addiction. Crack cocaine. I robbed a bank on the south side of Milwaukee, the Chase Bank on Cesar Chavez Drive in Greenfield. I walked in and passed the note to the teller and walked out with $3,200, and I was captured 4 days later.
They didn't find you for 4 days.
Yes.
Where'd they find you? Where were you?
I was on 10th and Wright. I was on the north side.
On the street they found you, or?
Well, somebody gave them some information. You know what I mean?
They were tipped off.
They were tipped off, yeah.
Okay.
They were able to locate me, yes.
All right. Now, how long had you been using crack?
My addiction goes back actually 40 years.
40 years?
Yeah. Unfortunately for me, for my 14th birthday, I'll be 54 next month. So October 26th, 1985, when I turned 14, a friend of mine brought me some cocaine as a birthday present. So, and I don't know any better, but unfortunately for me, I liked it,
So at 14, how did you guys do? Did you snort it?
Yeah, we snorted it.
So you snorted it, and then from there, when did it become, I assume then you ended up smoking the crack cocaine later.
Yeah, I would.
When did that come about after you first tried coke?
At 22 years old. By the end of 1994, I was 22.
Okay.
And then I was hooked. My life was never the same after I tried crack. That's a whole nother monster. So, yeah.
I've heard a lot about it. I have never tried it myself. Tried plenty of other things, but not that I'm aware of.
Yeah.
So let me ask you this. So how old were you when you robbed that bank?
I was 43.
So you were 43, and today you're how old?
I'm 53. I'll be 54 next month.
Okay. So at 43, you robbed that bank. Why'd you rob that bank?
No hope, lack of hope, despair, addiction, you know what I mean?
But you needed money, I take it?
Yes, absolutely.
And what were you going to do with that money?
Spend it on drugs.
Spend it on drugs.
Yeah.
Buy more crack.
Yeah.
So you got caught 4 days later,
Yeah.
and let's jump ahead, say, to your sentencing. So what was the outcome of your sentencing?
Under truth and sentencing, I received a 20-year bifurcated sentence, 10 years confinement, 10 years extended supervision, which meant I have to serve the entire 10 years.
So you had to serve 10 years behind bars.
Yes.
And then you were going to get 10 years on paper, as we say, which means parole.
Yes.
10 years on parole or court supervision.
Yes.
Which is I'm on probation currently, and
Yes.
you're on parole, I take it, right
Yes,
now,
yes.
right? So let me jump ahead here. When you were in prison, where'd you go? Where'd they ship you off to, or how many different ones did you go to?
Well, unfortunately, I didn't go too many places. They are very good at warehousing you. So what happened with me, I went straight from Dodge, of course, which is reception. You go there and for intake, and then I went to a place called Stanley Correctional.
Where's that?
That's northern Wisconsin. It's up near Eau Claire. It's in Chippewa County, and it's about 4 hours north of Milwaukee.
Okay. And did you spend how much time were you there? How long were you there?
I was there 6 years and 8 months.
6 years and 8 months. Now, I just want to ask this question. When were you released out of prison? After 6 years and 8 months?
No, I transferred to a place called Oak Hill, which is in Dane County, the city of Oregon, near Madison.
Okay.
Because I was my custody level was reduced. So when I was 7 years in on a 10-year sentence, I received minimum custody reduction. And I went to a place called Oak Hill as I was preparing to transition for release.
So there's a lower level of security and
Yes.
that kind of thing. It's
Absolutely.
So how many years total did you spend in prison then?
I did 8 exactly and was released early.
Early?
Yes, I was released 2 years early.
And why'd you get released early?
Compassionate release due to the terminal illness that I had been diagnosed with.
Okay. So while you were in prison, how'd you spend your time?
Well, writing. One thing that allowed me to escape was writing. I like write poetry, letters. I even worked on a couple manuscripts. So, I had no formal training in writing, but it was just something that I enjoyed. I also watched a lot of television. I love sports. I love basketball. I love to play basketball. And
Me too.
Yeah, very athletic. I enjoy that. I like to talk. I'm a people person, very personable. Became a point where I was mentoring inmates, spend my time in the day room, television and writing, and then also, once again, I educated myself. I was able to get me a vocational and custodial services, and then I also got an apprenticeship in custodial services. So I spent a lot of time working. I worked hard in prison, because I didn't really have any support out there, and I had to take care of myself. So, I kept busy
So when you work in prison in custodial services, what does that do for you? What do you get in return?
As far as pay wise?
Yeah. Do you get any kind of compensation of any kind?
Maybe $30 a month.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, there's something there. And it's a way also for when I was at the Milwaukee County Jail downtown on a 5-month sentence, very much smaller. I reduced it by 2 months by working in the inmate worker program in the kitchen, 16 hours a day, 7 days a week.
Okay.
Cut off 2 months.
Yeah.
Didn't get paid. Fine. I got paid in time.
Yeah. Good time. Yeah, good time for you guys. Yeah.
So then when you got out a couple years early, was that also on account of good time, or was it because of your illness?
No good time. No, it was all because of my illness. I had to petition the court in order to get out early. It's a complicated process where you have to be approved by the Department of Corrections. You have to petition, and they have to approve it, and then you have to go back to the Milwaukee County Sentencing Court. And if one says no, it's a no-go. You need both parties to agree, and it's 2 separate situations.
Okay, before we get into your diagnosis and your illness, let me just ask you. You grew up here in Milwaukee.
Yes, born and raised.
Where'd you go to high school?
I went to North Division briefly, And
Is that right on Center Street?
Yeah, 10th and Center. Yeah.
They got, I just played tennis on those courts
Yeah.
last weekend.
Yeah.
They got some of the best courts in Milwaukee. I'm not kidding you. I'm dead serious. There was nobody else there except me and my wife hitting balls.
Yeah.
But so you went to North Division?
I went there briefly. You have to understand. You remember I told you my first encounter with cocaine was at 14. So
you were using then?
Yeah. So I was
in school.
Yeah, I was deep in the nonsense by the time I started my freshman year of high school.
Did you graduate?
No, I did not. I was kicked out of North, and I went to a slew of alternative high schools.
Okay.
So I went all over 68th Street, Kilmer, Shalom, SDC. I just bounced around.
When you were a teenager in those years, did you get arrested at all?
Yes, I was arrested 4 times as a juvenile.
As a juvenile.
Yeah.
Did you ever go to Lincoln Hills or any place like that?
And the crazy thing is, they just kept giving me probation.
They just kept giving you probation.
Yeah. I caught probation 3 different times. I did serve a total of 46 days in the detention center.
Okay.
Out there on Watertown Plank Road.
Okay.
And, that's tough. That's like maximum security. So
for kids,
that's like hard time for a kid. But maybe they should have sent me to Lincoln Hills or Ethan Allen, and maybe I would have woke up. But
didn't happen.
It didn't happen. I kept getting slaps on the wrist, and yeah.
Did you get your GED when you were in prison?
Yes, I did.
Nice. So, okay, did you go to college at all, or community college or anything like that?
No, I would have liked to. The closest thing I did to college when I was in prison, they got correspondence courses with UW Platteville, and I unfortunately for me, funding was an issue. I was eligible for certain grant. I believe it was the Pell Grant I was eligible for, but then I remember the education director called me up and he said, well, you're going to still need money for books, et cetera. And he said, you're going to need like $1,000 even with the funding. And at that point, $1,000 would have been like $1 million to me in jail. So I had to, forget about trying to, go further with my education.
When you were locked up, did you have family that you communicated with?
Well, my father's deceased. He's been dead since I was 15. My sister had a stroke in 2015. So right before I robbed the bank, that was another thing that added to my depression, because she was always my hero. I loved her to death. We're 3 years apart, and today's her birthday. So happy birthday to my sister Debbie, 9/11, baby.
Right on.
Yeah, absolutely. But she was she couldn't talk, couldn't walk, So, and then my mother, she's in her senior year. So, I'm not gonna ask them for anything. They had already, done enough for me throughout my life. So I had to fend for myself. I got one child, and at the time, she was 16, and she was, you understand, people are mad at me because of my addiction and because I went back to prison. So, so I was pretty much on my own.
Darnell, I can relate.
Yeah.
I'm 4.5 months clean and sober from alcohol.
Yeah.
And I can understand how family and friends
we let them
are
down.
mad at me because I'm still working to get back their trust and to believe in me and to trust me and to reestablish that connection, that love and everything. It's still there, but I understand exactly what you just said. I can relate 100%. So let's get over to your diagnosis. Now, what was the diagnosis and when did that happen when you were in prison? How far into your sentence when you found out about it?
I was diagnosed 30 months ago, March of 2023, and at that point, I would have been maybe about 7.5 years into my 10-year sentence.
And you found out, and how did you find out that you had...
Well, my cancer is a rare, a rare soft tissue cancer called liposarcoma, and it's in my leg. I have a tumor in the back of my right thigh. And it started the size of a golf ball, and how it played out, I didn't know anything about tumors, masses. I wasn't in any pain, but long story short, over a 22-month period, it kept getting bigger and bigger and bigger, and went from a golf ball to the size of a football.
Could you see it, like protruding from your skin on your leg?
Absolutely, yeah. It's still there. See, it's humongous. Yeah, still there.
I just reached over and touched it. Yeah, I can feel it. I can feel it.
What I mean, and it got as big as a football. It went from a golf ball to a football, so it kept getting bigger and bigger. And mind you, I contacted the nurse and health service unit, which is the place you go when you don't want to see a doctor right away within a few days after noticing the lump. But they told me that it was nothing to worry about. Initially, they said they didn't know, and then eventually they told me that it was a lipoma, which is a fat tissue that's harmless. So even though it was getting bigger, I didn't panic because I had trusted in them, and they told me there was nothing to worry about.
So that was about 7.5 years into your sentence when you discovered this lump, this golf ball, and it started to grow into a football. And they told you initially that it wasn't anything to worry about.
Yes.
So when did it become something to worry about? How did that determination come about?
When I was transferred to another prison.
When you went to the minimum?
Yes.
Went down in security level?
Yes.
So what happened there?
Well, as soon as you get there, they're going to review your medical files. And so the second day up, they called me up and said, let's take a look at this lump on your leg. As soon as they looked at it, they were like, you're in trouble. And it's foreign to me. I don't know anything. They're talking about this liposarcoma thing, and I don't have a clue what they're talking about. They're looking at me, and I'm like, I'm fine. This is a lipoma. I'm going to, cut this out, just fat tissue. We're going to slice it open if I want, or I can keep it. They said I can live with it, or I can cut it out and sew it back up and head back to rec. I'm thinking it's no big deal. And they said, this is a problem. And then they started running tests, ultrasounds, MRIs, CAT scans, then the biopsy. And within about 90 days after I arrived there, I was diagnosed with cancer, and stage 4 cancer, because the tumors had spread. I got 10 tumors in my abdomen as well. So that's how I got the stage 4 diagnosis.
So explain to me, I'm a little ignorant in the cancer level diagnosis area. What does stage 4 mean? I mean, I assume there's stage 1, 2, and 3.
Yes.
So stage 1, the lowest low level, and then stage 4 would be
that's the final
an
stage.
Advanced final. You say?
Yeah. That's what they consider you're terminally ill. You're technically a dying man. Yeah. Stage 4. The prognosis was you could be dead in 3 to 6 months. So I went from expecting to live 30 more years to telling me that I could be dead in 90 days. Yeah, and I had to get on chemotherapy immediately. So it was real.
So this was about 6 months ago? They told you this?
No, this all transpired in March. I was diagnosed March of 2023.
Okay, so a couple of years ago, 2.5 years ago, roughly.
Yeah.
So they said 90 days. Here you are 2.5 years later.
Yeah, that was good.
So
30 months later, I'm still standing.
Did you go through chemo? And
I did chemo just one time. I did chemo. I did 5 cycles of chemo between April and July of 2023.
When you were inside? When you were locked up?
When I was inside, yeah. I didn't get released to August of 2023. Since I've been on the streets 25 months. I haven't done chemo at all.
No chemo. No, what are they telling? Do you see a doctor regularly? What do you do now?
I got an oncologist, Dr. John Charleston out at Freighted. And what we do is I go in every several months and we do scans on the tumors. And we see if they've gotten bigger, smaller, or disappeared. Obviously, we're hoping that they disappear, but they haven't. That's when the cancer would be in remission. But my tumors have pretty much stayed steady. They have got a little bigger. At one point, they even got a little small. So I've been blessed, but my tumors, for the most part, has stayed steady.
So what's your doctor telling you? What's your prognosis in terms of the future?
Well, when I was first released, he told me that on average, stage 4 liposarcoma patients last 2 years on average, but he said he think I could last 3. So I'm 30 months into that 3 years. So, I'm always watching the clock. Anytime I feel something shift in my body or some discomfort, there's a panic, you know what I mean? So it's a scary way to live, you know what I mean? Because, the clock, unless God say otherwise, the clock is ticking. But I did ask him recently. I said, you gave me 36 months, and I'm closing in on that. Is that still the same? Did you think 36 months? And he said you could, we could probably stretch it. You probably get a little longer. We know God has a final say so. But he said, based on your tumor staying steady, he said I would say we could extend it a little bit longer than 36 months. So.
Yeah. Do you go to church? Are you a church goer?
Yeah, I do go to church from time to time. I haven't been going as much lately, but my faith is strong.
Do you pray?
I pray all the time. Yeah, I pray all the time. I got to do better. But my faith is what keeps me strong. You know what I mean? I know God is in control. You know, I understand that. You know, and with this disease, I say that, you know, I hope and pray that, you know, He delivers me. And, you know, but as of right now, until He has shown me that that's His plan to deliver me, you know, I have to be prepared for, for worst case scenario. But yeah, but I'm trusting in Him, you know, and he's got the final, you know, say so. And I'm just, you know.
When you got out of prison 25 months ago, did you say?
25 months ago, August 31st, 2023.
Did you start using?
I was sober until Thanksgiving.
Until Thanksgiving of last year?
2023.
Of 2023. So you got out when?
I got out August 31st. I started using late November 2023. So I was sober for almost 90 days.
Couple 3 months, and then you jumped off the wagon.
And went hard. I went hard in the paint.
And so how long? When did you decide you're going to clean up?
February 7th, 2025. 7 months. I've been clean 7 months, 4 days as of today.
All right, man. Congratulations.
Yeah,
That's good news.
Thank you. Yeah.
Well, I was gonna say that if I were in your position, and many people who, if they found themselves in your position, might take the stance that, screw it, I'm gonna drink, I'm gonna do drugs, I don't have any time left, I'm just gonna party till I die.
Yes.
But what's your position? What's your thinking about the time you've got left?
Well, that was, you know, I took that approach, and, you know, as I said before, I was released August 31st, 2023. I started using Thanksgiving 2023, and I got high for 15 months straight. But, you know, that didn't do me any good. So I did that. I tried that. And now, you know, I'm doing something different. You know what I mean? You know, the way I look at it now is, I don't want to squander it. If this is the end, you know, I don't want to squander this last chance. And, I wrote the book. You know what I mean?
When did you get the idea to write a book?
When I was in rehab. I wrote this book in treatment. Yep.
So this past spring, was it?
In March. I wrote it in March, and I was done with it and found a publisher in April. Yeah, just 5 months ago, whatever that is, between March and April of 2025.
How long were you in treatment?
I did 70 days.
70 days. Where'd you go?
I was at Janetta Robinson on 55th and Villard. Yeah.
I know Janetta Robinson. I'm familiar with it.
Yeah.
So you wrote the book while you were in rehab, in treatment.
Yes, I did.
And the book is 81 pages?
89 pages.
89 pages.
Yes.
And the title is The Ultimate Betrayal.
Yeah.
Now tell me, why did you call it The Ultimate Betrayal?
Because I felt, I was betrayed by the people that you're supposed to trust the most, the doctors and the nurses, who you trust more than a doctor, nurse, a priest, a policeman, So, and clearly I was betrayed. And so I felt ultimate betrayal. And then, the book, it extends because the betrayal went deeper. But, that's a whole nother story. You got to get the book and check it out. But, yeah, I that title just something that I came up with right away. It wasn't hard for me to, to come up with that title, and I felt it's appropriate, based on, what transpired.
So the book when did the book come out?
The book was released July 26th, so about a month and a half ago. Still fresh, brand new.
And how are sales? How are book sales?
Well, I don't know. You know what I mean? I'm hoping they're well. I'm hoping they're doing well. You know what I mean? I think it's doing well, but I don't know how well. I won't know until I get a royalty check. But,
so third week of July, roughly, or toward the end of July, it came out. So August. So it's just a month and a half. It's been out.
Yeah.
And do you have an agent that you communicate with, or who do you talk to in terms of knowing if it's selling or how it's selling or anything like that?
Well, I do have the publishers, but our business is kind of done. You know what I mean? Once the book was published, we do still have some interaction because I have a website. But, I haven't inquired about, what's the status of the sales. I just know people have been buying it, and I have, had people reach out to me and say they enjoyed it and would I come sign the book.
Who's the publisher of the book?
Elite Authors Publishing.
Where are they located?
They're out in California.
California?
Yeah.
Did they pay you anything for this?
No, I paid for this out of pocket.
You paid for it?
Yeah, I paid for this out of pocket.
And they're selling it?
Yeah, well, it's being sold through Amazon, so they just assisted me. They just edited and proofread, you know what I mean? Things of that nature. And just,
Okay. Have any critics read it, like New York Times or Milwaukee Journal, Sentinel?
Hey, well, I do got a contact because I was in the New York Times newspaper.
You were?
Last year? Yeah, if you pull it up, July 2nd, 2024. They did a story on inadequate health care in Wisconsin prison.
Really?
So yeah, you Google Darnell Price, New York Times, you'll see me. But yeah, Mario Coran, shout out to Mario. He's a reporter of New York Times, and I'm in contact with him, and he read the book and he liked it, thumbs up, So yeah, I'm hoping it's doing well. I'm not really pressing to see what the sales are. I'm just kind of laying back and I'll see when the royalty check come in. I'm hoping I see something, pleasant.
When did they say you can expect a check? Is it quarterly, like every 3 months?
Yeah, it's like
something like that.
Yeah, every 3 months. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah,
Well,
my birthday then the next month. Maybe it'll fall. Maybe maybe I'll be able to have a happy birthday. But like I said, I'm just staying patient. You know what I mean? I'm just letting it play itself out.
So you mentioned earlier that you're an athlete. You like sports.
Absolutely.
You gonna watch the game tonight?
Who's playing?
Packers, Commanders, Green Bay, Washington.
Thursday night. Yeah, I'm gonna check
Football.
it out. Yeah. See that Thursday night to catch me. It's kind of tricky. You know what I mean?
I know.
And then the season's brand new, so I'm still.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I got the smart screen TV, so I'll be watching. Like last weekend. I had to just watch it. I just waited for the games to end, then I went on YouTube.
Okay, sure.
Then, YouTube, everything is gonna pop right up.
I had the same problem on Sunday. I have a new TV situation. It's not normal.
Yeah.
I don't have ABC, CBS, and NBC and Fox, the normal stations.
Same here with me.
I got Roku.
That's what I got. Roku.
ESPN.
Exactly.
I don't know. Prime.
Hulu, Netflix,
but not the normal traditional stations.
Exactly. You're like me. Yeah.
So I have to reevaluate that and weigh the cost and the benefit because there's so many different stations you got to have to watch all the games.
Exactly.
You got all these different contracts. Yeah. Anyway, I know that the Packers are playing tonight on Prime.
Okay.
And it's a primetime game against Washington. They got a great quarterback.
Yeah, Washington. Yeah, I watched him last year in the playoff. The young boy, he was impressive.
Yeah,
real impressive. So yeah.
Very impressive.
Yeah.
So do you do any sports these days? What do you do with your in terms of your I don't know, recreation or for fun?
Well, over the summer I was doing a lot of walking. I was walking good. You know what I mean? And that's pretty much all I was doing. I need to do more. You know what I mean?
Did you get out on the playground, shoot any rock?
Man, I actually played when I was at Janetta Robinson. I did.
Did you?
Yeah, I went. And the funny story. We skunked these young boys. One was 24, one was 26, and I had a 40-something-year-old guy with me, and I'm 50-something. We beat them 8 games straight.
Man, last summer I was at the HOC for 2 months on a PO hold.
Yeah.
And I didn't want to get hurt playing ball, but I got out there one day.
Yeah.
I'm 60.
Okay.
And I was 59 at the time.
Okay.
And we came back to the dorm afterwards, and these guys going, "Man, you cold."
Yeah.
You cold, they were telling me. They couldn't believe it.
Right.
They could not believe
that
an old white guy could jump and shoot.
Oh, yeah. Hey, man. I think about it, too. I said, boy, last thing I need to tear ACL or
exactly.
something.
I just played those couple games that one day, and the rest of the time I just walked laps and, whatever, lifted weights, did push-ups. I played it cool, man. I didn't want to get hurt either. I'm already locked up. Last thing I want to do is be in there and hurt.
Yeah.
Well, I want to thank you very much, Darnell, for being in the hood. Thank you so much.
Thanks for having me, man. It's an honor and a pleasure, man. And the book is out, The Ultimate Betrayal, Amazon. Check it out. Good
luck with the book sales. I'm going to get a copy. I'm going to read it, and I will. Will you come back on the show another time?
Absolutely. Please have me again. I would.
Glad to hear it.
Love it.
Well, thank you again, and this has been The Hood. I'm your host, William Duvall. This is 104.1 WXRW River West Radio, and you are in the Hood.
Let the man go through.